In an interview, Tom Hiddleston said that Loki's 4th episode would bring a twist that no one could have anticipated. And really, this episode got us a lot of twists and turns and a dangerous cliffhanger as well as a post-credits scene. So, in this video we will break down this episode. Since this is a breakdown video, it may contain spoilers for this episode and maybe future episodes. Now let's move on to the breakdown. So first let's talk about Sylvie's backstory. Now the incident of Loki of 2012 makes sense, that he was in captivity and got out of there with the help of the Tesseract. But the only thing Sylvie was doing was playing with her toys. And the TVA hunter of that time came there and took her away. Which is terribly wrong. Whether they are variants or not. Also, if this girl was Loki, why was she caught even when she was 10 years old? Therefore, in my theory, while Sylvie was playing with the Valkyrie toys there, she must have considered becoming like her. Therefore, the Nexus event must have been caused by her thinking, and Ravonna Renslayer would have caught her. Along the way, we also saw how Renslayer was once a TVA hunter. And it shows how hard Renslayer has worked to get to the post where she is today. When Mobius is with the Renslayer, he often says that they have captured Kree, Titans, and even vampires. And here, the vampire was not mentioned for the first time. Korg has also mentioned vampires earlier in Thor Ragnarok, although we thought this was a joke. But mentioning vampires here again indicates that at some level Marvel wants to clarify that those vampires do exist in the MCU. And in this episode, Mobius puts Loki into a time loop to punish him. Where we got to see Jamie Alexander's Lady Sif again after so many years. Before we move on to this time loop, let us talk about this cameo first. So, the Russo brothers had already confirmed that in Infinity War Lady Sif was among those who vanished from Thanos' snap. She must have returned after the Hulk's snap. And it is also confirmed that she will be seen in Thor Love and Thunder. However, this time loop showed us a part of the story of the Old Norse gods, where Loki cuts a part of Sif's hair while she was sleeping. Something similar happened in Marvel Comics where Sif's hair was originally of golden color, but when Loki cuts that hair, he tells the dwarves to make a new hair for her. These new hairs, however, are not golden, but black. Now let's discuss the time loop. So here we got to see the same time loop as the movie of Doctor Strange, where Doctor Strange repeatedly reappear after Dormammu tried to kill him. But the situation is reversed here. Lady Sif was repeatedly abusing Loki and beating him. Both time loops are same here, but just Loki's time loop is more painful. In the middle of the episode, Mobius tells Loki that he can become whatever he wants, and the same is true for us. It doesn't matter which timeline you and I belong to or from which timeline we have come. No TVA can control our own timeline except for us. In this episode, Mobius and few TVA workers found out that they were all variants. And those TVA agents and hunters were wiped out. Now the strange thing here is that the Renslayer knew that the people working at TVA were variants, so shouldn't this be shocking to her too? Because according to this, she too was a variant. In addition, she also knew about the Timekeepers being fake. I think the theory that Ravonna Renslayer is working for someone else is proving to be true somewhere. Considering that theory, it is Kong who is removing all the elements that get in his way in timeline to conquer. Many people were wiped out in this episode, among them if we felt bad about anyone, then it was Mobius who we couldn't see on a jet ski. However, in the post-credits scene of the episode, we saw the vanished Loki at a place where it had his multiple variants. Which means Mobius and many other erased people are not dead. Instead, they are all trapped in some afterworld. Plus, we saw a ship in Loki's mid-credits sneak peek that appeared in the opposite effect of TVA's people erasure effect. So maybe Mobius and many other erased people could be here. And when it comes to the variants we saw here, many people knew that Richard E. Grant would be here. And today we got to see them, in the form of the old variant Loki. Looking at this place, it looks like Loki is stuck at Comic-Con. But this place is post-apocalyptic New York as we saw in the trailer for this series as well. Here we can see Kid Loki, Black Loki with his hammer and also an alligator Loki. Richard E. Grant appears here as Loki of old comics. Alligator Loki is also the same Loki who became an alligator instead of becoming a snake, or this Loki is the enemy of Thor. And Kid Loki's look is inspired by modern comics. In Marvel Comics, when Loki is killed in a fight with Void, he is born again, where he is called as Kid Loki. But we don't know much about this Black Loki, but he looks amazing and in credits he has been given the name of Boastful Loki. We wanted to see the Timekeepers from the beginning, but when we saw them, we found out that they were just robots. Whereas we saw in the first episode how TVA checks whether they're a robot or not, which is very surprising here.
What if I was a robot and I didn't know it?
The multiple Nexus incident that took place at the end of the second episode was described well in this episode. This thing indicates that Sylvie created that event only to distract the TVA hunters, so that after everyone leaves, she can kill the Timekeepers. This is something to think about, because Sylvie spent her whole life killing the Timekeepers, and in the end the Timekeepers turned out to be fake. And as the Asgardians grow slowly, Sylvie must have spent many years here in all her planning. This episode has proved to be the most amazing of all the episodes so far. Recently, actor Tom Hiddleston, who plays Loki, stated in a BBC radio interview that this show will take a completely different direction after the 4th episode. And looking at this episode, it can be said that we are going to see something different from here. Because Mobius could not sit on the jet ski, Loki also disappeared, and the Timekeepers also turned out to be fake. So, from here we can assume that episode 5 is going to be amazing. And Tom Hiddleston also said in that interview that the 4th and 5th episodes of Loki are his favorite. And in Loki's mid-season sneak peek, we see a strange place that looks amazing, and also, we got to see Loki's sword Leviathan in that sneak peek. So, what do you think about this sword and that strange place? Do tell it in the comments below. And also, now those Timekeepers are fake, who do you think is controlling the TVA? Let me know in the comments. So, this was the breakdown of 4th episode of Loki. If you enjoyed this video then don't forget to hit the like button. That's all for today's video, and if you like the content of this channel then don't forget to subscribe this channel for more content like this.